betrayal, bankruptcy, and suicide. Badfinger, originally called the Ivories, was a Welsh rock band signed to the Beatles, Apple Records, in 1968. They became one of the first power pop bands with hits like Come and Get It, written by Paul McCartney in 1970. No Matter What, Day After Day, produced by George Harrison in 1971. Baby Blue, later featured in Breaking Bad. Without You, a global hit by Harry Nilsson and Mariah Carey. Despite their talent, their career was destroyed by managerial fraud and industry exploitation. Managerial betrayal. Stan Pauly's scam. Stan Pauly, a New York manager with ties to organized crime, took control of Badfinger's finances in 1971. His scams included shell companies, hiding their royalties. Warner Brothers advanced $250,000 for an album Pauly stole the money from. Band members received $5,000 to $8,000 salaries, while Pauly took $75,800 in commissions. Contracts that trapped them. They couldn't tour or release music without Pauly's approval. By 1975, Badfinger was broke, despite selling millions of records. Pete Ham, on April 24, 1975, age 27, primary songwriter, emotionally shattered by Pauly's theft. After learning that all of his money was gone, he drank heavily that night with bandmate Tom Evans. He went home and hanged himself in the garage, leaving a note that read, "Annie," his girlfriend, "I love you." Blair, his son, "I love you." Stan Pauly is a soulless bastard. I will take him with me. His daughter was born a month later. Tom Evans, on November 19, 1983, co-writer of Without You, which earned $500,000 plus in royalties, struggled with alcoholism and depression thereafter and major royalty disputes. On the final night of his life, he argued with Joey Moland over Without You royalties. He went home and hanged himself in the garage, mirroring Ham's death. Key factors in the reason for their suicide is due to the fact that Stan Pauly's theft stole millions, leaving them destitute, and their legal traps that he left, contracts preventing them from escaping Pauly. Depression over industry neglect, Warner Brothers and Apple Records abandoning them, though Apple Records was going bankrupt, and they did a new contract with Warner Brothers. But the psychological toll on Ham and Evans, feeling hopeless, betrayed, and financially ruined. Their music remains iconic. Baby Blue, in Breaking Bad, revived interest in the band. A cautionary tale about artists' exploitations in the music industry. A book called Without You, The Tragic Story of Badfinger, a book by Dan Marovino. The BBC and Rolling Stone magazine reports of their deaths. The location was 12 Mile Road, Surrey, England. A nearby landmark, the White Hart Pub in Surrey, where Peter Ham drank with Tom Evans hours before his death. The final hours were Ham received a call confirming that all of his money was stolen by his manager Stephen Pauly, thus drinking heavily at the White Hart Pub with Evans. Returning home distraught, he left a suicide note blaming Pauly. His daughter, Pete Ham, was born 1 month later after Ham's death. On that night, Ham had been missing for hours after a night of heavy drinking with Tom Evans, but then was found by his pregnant girlfriend. Beverly Jones was his fiancée and longtime girlfriend. They were never legally married. They were engaged and expecting their daughter when Pete committed suicide in 1975. So they were in a long-term relationship and engaged at the time of his tragic death. Tom Evans died on November 19, 1983, in his home's garden in Richmond, England, found by his wife, Marianne Evans. Marianne found him hanging from a tree in their garden the next morning. The album Straight Up was their top-selling album, released in December 1971 by Apple Records. The producer was George Harrison and Todd Rundgren. And there you have it, Badfinger. Have you ever seen Badfinger live in concert? Let us know below in the comments. Would you do me a favor? Would you share? Would you share this video with a friend? After all, they're your friends. Please share the video. And like and subscribe and thumbs up. Please find it in your heart to help support the ongoing production with a tip to the tip jar. Or buy us a coffee. Or buy us a pizza, perhaps. This helps support the channel. And I thank you in advance. We do have merchandise below if interested. Let me read to you lyrics from the band Badfinger. Well, I can't forget this evening, or your face as you were leaving. But I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes, your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. Well, I can't forget tomorrow, when I think of all my sorrow, when I had you there, and then I let you go. And now it's only fair that I should let you know what you should know. I can't live if living is without you. I can't live. I can't give anymore. I can't live if living is without you. I can't give. I can't give anymore. Well, I can't forget this evening, or your face as you were leaving. But I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes, your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. I can't live if living is without you. I can't live. I can't give anymore. I can't live if living is without you. I can't give. I can't give anymore. The world-class band, Badfinger. Again, thank you, and allow me to play you out. Christmas? You like Christmas time? You want to go outside? You don't? All right.